Hey everyone, it's me, Chris here, Body Nova Fitness Coaching, and we're going to talk about the mechanical advantage drop sets, but this is going to be specific to the squat combo here. I'm going to throw a different version of the squat at you, the same version, but it's different, and this is how that is different. So when most people, they jump into the squat rack, they grab the bar out of the rack, and you're seeing they do their squats, they squat down as low as they go, and that's fine. But what I'm doing for this tricep is going to be a little different. I'm going to introduce you to the Anderson squat. Okay, so instead of taking out the top of the rack, what you do in the Anderson squat is you set. I get there, I get to the rack, and I squat down, and I see how low I typically end my squat. So in this case, I'm almost at 9. Okay, but if I set that at 9, at the lowest, it's going to be really hard to get out of there, and I may or may not make it. Okay, so I'm kind of between 9 and 10. So what I do is I set it up at 10. So I set the standards there and I lower the bar right on those standards. Now, instead of, oh, anyway, so instead of just touching and going, what I do is I come right out of the bottom with myself in squat position at my perfect foot position and everything. And I'm squatting up out of that hole. And then I'm bringing it down. I'm not just trying to touch and go. I'm not trying to miss it. Actually going to set it down on there. Count 1, 2. That's why your tempo for this is going to be 3, 2, X, 0. I want you to wait with that bar on those standards for 2 seconds. And then you'll continue your lifting. Now, you're going to choose a weight that you can perform 12 to 15 reps with in this position, and you're only going to perform 6 to 8 reps. Okay? So you'll perform your 6 to 8 reps. Okay, now you're going to actually rack it on the normal rack. So I set my standards at shoulder height. So I usually set my standards at shoulder height there. So I don't have to be struggling to get them up there high when I'm tired, because you're going to be pretty tired when you do this drop set. We don't want any accidents, right? I'm going to move on to the next one. So I'll try to set it up a little bit where I have either a ramp or squat blocks, or some people will just use regular plates, and I'll set those plates and I'll put my heels on those plates, but I'm going to use a shoulder width squat stance on that. I'm going to use my regular stance for the Anderson squat, but this one I'm going to use a shoulder width squat stance. And for me, I need to turn my feet out, so I turn my toes out. And now I'm going to take it out of the rack position, and I'm going to perform as many reps as I can in that position. Okay, with my feet up on both my heels on the either on the blocks or on the plates. You're going to usually want thicker plates. I grab 45-pound plates here because they're at least this thick. But I also have squat blocks, and I set those squat blocks right to where my feet are. Okay, I have 20 degree, 10 degree, 20 degree, and 30 degree. I use 20s for this. But anyway, you have your heels up on those blocks, and that's going to make you use your quads a little bit more. Okay, so you're going to hit as many reps as you can in this position. Okay, or yeah, in this stance, in this squat stance, with that first weight. Okay? Then you're going to rack it. Now you can either move those things out of the way, which I might do, or just get to your normal regular stance there, and get to your normal regular stance. For me, I squat very wide stances. That's what helps me. I mean, that's helps me alleviate back pain. When I go to closed stances or toes pointed forward, my anatomy is not made that way, so that extra width, so the extra depth that I'm going to get also comes at expense of my lower back. So anyway, as you see, it's a very wide stance, wider than shoulder width. I'm lowering down, and I hit as many reps as I can before re-racking the. So again, starting with that Anderson squat with the weights on the preset standards coming off the bottom of the squat. The safeties. I'm setting the bar on the safeties with that Anderson squat. I'm in my stance to set it the perfect height, or just one notch above it for the depth that I squat at. Coming out of that squat, I'm performing 6 to 8 reps with a weight that I can only lift. Then I'm moving on. I have my squat blocks there, or I have those plates. So I have those plates set right at the perfect position for me. I put my heels up on those plates. And I snatched the bar out of the rack, which I should have racked it back in the rack after doing the Anderson squat. Perform as many reps as possible. Rack it. If I got to move the plates out of the way, that's fine. If not, that's also fine. And then I go and I perform as many reps as possible in my wider than shoulder width squat stance, toes rotated out, and as many reps as possible. Then I re-rack it and I rest the rest of it. So for this, that might be a 3-minute break. And then as we go through the program, we're going to work on it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. This is the squat combo number 1.